Today we're going to be talking about a way that I created a brain dump for the PMP exam and successfully passed it. So this is the main table for PMP exam preparation. Now please keep in mind this is for the 4th edition of the PMBOK. By the time you're watching this, you'll probably be studying the 5th edition. However, the tips and tricks I'm going to give remain the same, even though the table might look different. So wouldn't it be great if you could bring this table in with you? It would be, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, I can never memorize it and then regurgitate it. That's what I thought. However, by breaking it down piece by piece, I was able to do just that. Now, you may have found so far that in the beginning of the exam, they give you about 15 minutes to learn how to use the computer exam taking system. It should probably take you less than 5 minutes, so then you got about 10 minutes to do a brain dump, which means writing down things before you begin the exam so that in the heat of battle you don't start forgetting things. You'll have it on a nice sheet for yourself. And you might be wondering why all this highlighting. We'll get to that in a minute. So, scenario is you've just learned how to use the PMP exam test taking computer, and now you got 10 minutes to make your cheat sheet. So here's how I did it. First, I did a line across the top, and then a line down the side. Now the first thing I did was I went ahead and found, well actually first I did the I over here for initiating, then the C over here for closing. Then to make sure I space everything out real good, I went ahead and put the E right in the middle. Then I can put my P here in the middle of those two and my M and C here between those two. And of course this stands for the process groups of initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. So now from here I can draw my lines vertically. And now from here I'm going to do my knowledge areas on the left hand side. What I'm going to do is start with numbers. I know that the first knowledge area is chapter 4. And I'm going to leave a room on the right hand side to write what that knowledge area is. And I know the final one is 12. And so between 4 and 12 is the number 8. So I'll find right in the middle here where I put an 8. Then right in the middle of that, between 4 and 8, there's 6. Then I can go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now in between 8 and 12, there's 10. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now I can make my horizontal lines. So there's your grid. Now as far as the knowledge areas, you just got to find some way to remember them. The first one is integration. I remembered that one because the PMP is all about integration of many things. That's what project management is all about per the PMP. So that's the first one. Then the second one is scope, time, and cost. Now, the way that I remembered this was I had a boss who'd always tell me for product development, what we have to know is what do you want, when do you want it, and how much is it going to cost. So that's just a helpful hint. It may or may not work for you. Then from there I just thought of the phrase cost of quality. So quality is next. And then from here somehow I just remembered from regurgitation and studying that 9 is human resources, 10 is communication, 11 is risk, and 12 is procurement. And now what I'm going to do right here is focus on the integration and the closing. So the reason why I do that is because when you look at the PMP exam, again this is per PMBOK 4, but by the time you read this you'll be doing PMBOK 5, but the general concept remains the same. For the initiating process group, you have 11% of the questions. For the closing process group, you have 9%. This is per the video how to ace PMP exam. You can search that on YouTube and find this video. So you'll notice that there's only 4 processes total. So by mastering these 4 processes you can get 20% of the points on the exam potentially. So just know these processes. So 4.1, develop project charter, and 10.1, identify stakeholders. And then for the closing process group, 4.6, close project or phase. And then 12.4, close procurements. Okay, now we're going to get into why I have these highlighted here. What I'm going to do is, now that I know that I have down the 4 processes for initiating and closing, what I'm going to do is shade in the rest of the stuff so that these blanks don't confuse me while I'm trying to fill in the rest of the table. So now that I've done that, my mind only has to focus on these 3 columns. I'm not going to be looking over here or looking over here. So, and if you want to take this concept further, based on PMBOK 4, there's these shaded areas for scope, time, and cost. What do you want? When do you want it? How much is it going to cost? So you know that right down the middle for executing, you can put some shading for scope, time, and cost. And also for project risk management, there's nothing for executing, so you can fill that in. And also for human resources, there's nothing for monitoring and controlling, so you can fill that in. And now we've greatly reduced the number of squares that you have to focus on filling in. So just by practice, you can go ahead and the more you do it, the more you look at here and then fill it in. And then next time, try to fill in as much as you can from memory. Whatever you don't remember, then refer back to this chart. But you'll find as you do this more and more, you'll really get to know the table and be able to regurgitate it. And now, once you've regurgitated that table, you'll be ready to use that for the PMP exam. But during the studying process, once you have this table filled in, or actually you can just look at a table that's already filled in for you. The other thing you should concentrate on is this video, how to ace the PMP exam. It talks about how to, once you have the table, then use it during the exam and use the thought process used to successfully pass the PMP exam. So hopefully this video, along with the great video how to ace PMP exam, will help you to do just that, ace the PMP exam. Thank you.